as governor of Bayelsa State, as at that time, man, was that it's like there was no Governor Silva before, because the election was massively rigged, etc., and mad with irregularity.
Suspected political thugs on Tuesday attacked the residence of a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party in Bayelsa State, Chief Dekivie Ikoha, in the Bansia area of Yenagoa, the state capital. They were said to have thrown an explosive believed to be dynamite into the building around 2 a.m. Similarly, 2 unidentified persons were also reported to have sustained gunshot wounds after they were attacked and shot at by yet to be identified thugs within the Opolo axis of the state capital. No one was injured in the incident at Ikoha's house, but the window panes near the spot where the explosive landed inside the compound were affected. A correspondent who visited the scene observed a hole in the ground as well as broken window panes, reportedly caused by the impact of the explosive. Ikoha, a former commissioner for agriculture and chief of the staff at the government house in Yenagoa, could not be reached for comment. In the build-up to the governorship polls in Bayelsa, Ikoha moved from the APC to the Labour Party, where he bought the form and contested the primary election but lost to the LP governorship candidate, Odeng Zeradiri. When contacted, the state police public relations officer, Asinim Botswat, said he would find out and revert. Delta State Chief Judge, Honorable Justice Teresa O. D.I., has set a 21-year-old robbery suspect Michael Lockie free from the custody of the Nigerian Correctional Service in Warri. The suspect had been in prison for 5 years. Justice D.I. set him free during his fourth quarter visits to the correctional facility in the Okere community. She warned the suspect to desist from crime and criminalities. In a chat with newsmen at the NSC, Lockie could not hide his joy. He said he was accused of armed robbery in the Yara area in Warri. Lockie, an indigene of Owelowe community in Isoko, expressed the belief that youths will learn from his case. Appeal court sitting has affirmed the election of Ibori Suenu Eriateke of Delta State, Representative Eriateke of the People's Democratic Party for Ethiopia Federal Constituency floored the incumbents Ben Rowlands Ibabe and Rep. Eriateke of the People's Democratic Party for Ethiopia Federal Constituency floored the incumbents Ben Rowlands Ibaba and Mr. Halims Ahoda of the NNPP and APC. Honorable Justice Festus Obunaya, Justice Senchi, and Justice Waziri delivered the judgment on Tuesday in Lagos. Ibori Suenu is the daughter of a former governor of Delta State and national leader of the PDP in the state, Chief James Onanefe Ibori. The appellate court said the appeal of the PDP candidate was meritorious and allowed the same, thereby setting aside the ruling of the lower court. In a press statement issued on Tuesday, Rep. Ehiateke described the ruling of the Court of Appeal as a victory for God and her constituents. She lauded the decision of the Court of Appeal, saying democracy has come to stay. Recalled that Rep. Ehiateke had urged her supporters to be law-abiding as she sought redress in court. Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Umar Enor has canned as spurious and unfounded the allegations of controversial appropriations in the 2023 supplementary budget, credited to Policy Alert, saying that his administration will remain focused on delivering dividends of good governance to Akwa Ibom people in line with the Arise agenda. The governor, who was fielding questions from government house correspondents at the Victor Atta International Airport before departing for an official engagement outside the state, reaffirmed his resolve to pursue the implementation of his development blueprint and positively touch people's lives. On the issue of revisiting old projects and frivolous borrowing, the governor reiterated his campaign promise of completing all yet to be completed projects initiated by past administrations and funded with the people's money, while challenging the publisher to show proof of any borrowing by his administration. Governor Eno, however, clarified that it was not out of place for the government to borrow out of necessity if it has to do with meeting the needs of the people of the state. Abia State Governor Dr. Alex Oti has appointed mayors for the 17 council areas. Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Prince Uzo Nwachukwu, disclosed that the list of the nominees has been sent to the House of Assembly for screening and confirmation as required by law. The nominees include Isiala, Ngwa Local Government Area, Chairman Dr. Elelanta, Nwabuisi Elele, Deputy Mr. Eberechukwu Ahuronye, Okwa West Local Government Area, Chairman Mr. Newman Azu, and Deputy Mr. Anele Michael Arochukwu LG, amongst others. The statement added that the list of the above-mentioned persons has been transmitted to the State House of Assembly by Dr. Alex C. Oti for screening and confirmation as required by law, urging the concerned persons to approach the State House of Assembly for their screening. Court of Appeal has overturned the decision of the National Assembly Election Petition Tribunal, which nullified the election of Ibe Okwara Osongwa of the Labour Party as the member representing Arochukwu Ohofia Federal Constituency of Abia State in the House of Representatives. The court nullified the victory secured at the tribunal by Daniel Chimezie Okeke of the All Progressives Congress. The appeal court in its ruling on Tuesday reinstated Osongwa's mandate by affirming his victory in the February 25th National Assembly election. The appellate court ruled that Osongwa's election should not have been nullified by the tribunal as it complied with the Electoral Act. The Independent National Electoral Commission had in February declared Osongwa as the winner of the election for Arochukwu Ohofia Federal Constituency with 8,946 votes. His closest challenger, Daniel Chimezie Okeke, scored 6,635 votes. Court of Appeal sitting in Lagos has nullified the election of Honorable Bright Emeka Ngene, the Labour Party lawmaker representing Enugu South Urban in the State House of Assembly. The appellate court upheld the decision of the tribunal, which had nullified the election on 13th September 2023. A three-man panel led by A.M. Abubakar ordered a rerun election, the constituency, within 19 days. Justice Abubakar averred that the number of votes credited to the winner of the elections were less than the number of disenfranchised voters in some parts of the constituency. The appeal court in the ruling the lead is owed to the ex-workers. The payment initiative was initiated by the Presidential Initiative on Continuous Audit in 2019. Approximately 5 billion naira has been allocated for this purpose, benefiting around 1,000 former Nigerian Airways employees. While specific financial details were not disclosed by Kiyamo, he assured that the federal government has taken the matter seriously and the ex-workers will soon receive the remaining portion of the severance pay. Nigerian Airways ceased its operations in 2003 following years of continuous struggles and aircraft fleet depletion. Traders and residents in Kara, Ibafo, and Mowe communities in Obafemi, Uwede local government area of Ogun State have expressed concern over the influx of mentally ill persons roaming their communities. The traders told reporters on Monday that the mentally ill persons who lurk in uncompleted buildings, abandoned houses, bridges, stalls, and some suspected mentally ill persons were sighted roaming and hanging around. Our correspondent learned that there are fears that the presence of these mentally ill persons may be an opportunity for evildoers to perpetrate harm in the society. A trader who identified as Oluwatu Kwe Barino on ATN Society Watch, said that Nigeria is relatively backward when it comes to handling mentally ill people. Here is a report.
When it comes to handling mentally ill people, I think Nigeria is relatively backward. Governments are supposed to put in facilities to handle issues like this in terms of mentally ill people, but you know, they say at the time the psychiatric hospital at Rumwibo was practically empty, while the streets were filled with mentally ill people, and mentally ill people are actually being left to roam. It's not like we are discriminating against them, but it's the reality. We've had an incident where I think while growing up, a madman actually pushed a child in the way of an incoming vehicle, and the vehicle.
He added that awareness needs to be raised, as mentally ill people should not be allowed.
Government authorities, because just like they said, they are actually supposed to be taken care of by the government, but the government of the day is not providing facility for these people, leaving them to roam around carelessly, like being, this part of our world, people still believe in ritual killings and all of that. So they are both a danger to themselves and also danger to other persons.
Senatorial district of the STU in tackling insecurity in the state. This was contained in a statement sent to journalists on Tuesday by the party's publicity secretary, Mr. Bemba Ayoltom. He said the governor snubbed the ultimatum from the state assembly and has to this day not said a word in response to it, even after concerns were raised from several quarters, including from agencies. Para State Command of the Nigeria Customs Service has intercepted 2 suspected stolen vehicles bearing the same number plates. The 2 vehicles are a 2010 Toyota Land Cruiser Prado Jeep model intercepted at Chikanda border, a post in Barotin local government of the state, and one used Toyota Hiace bus also intercepted at Chikanda heading towards Benin Republic. The command's controller, Kehinde Ilesami, disclosed at the press briefing in Ilorin on Tuesday that 2 suspects were arrested in connection with the incident. The 2 vehicles and the suspects were eventually handed over to the operatives of the Lagos State Police Command after the briefing. Ilesami further disclosed that the command generated 5.9 billion naira from June to October this year, surpassing the amount generated last year by 307.5 million naira. According to him, 3 suspects were also arrested during the period under the review, while 15 seizures, including foreign rice and petrol, were made. The controller warned those who intend to use the Yuletide period to make money by smuggling prohibited items to think twice. Governor Abu Kefes of Taraba State has said he has no plans to muscle out the opposition political parties during the forthcoming local government elections in the state. He made the announcement on Tuesday while reacting to the allegations that his administration is scheming to compromise the forthcoming local government elections. Speaking through his special advisor, Media and Digital Communications, Emmanuel Bello, via a statement made available to journalists in Jalingo, the state capital, the governor urged the public to disregard the allegations. He said a level playing ground will be made available to all candidates irrespective of political party affiliations. The governor, who said he is a Democrat, admonished the APC to concentrate on its internal crisis and leave the first family out of its troubles. Governor Mai Mala Buni of Yobe State has charged members of the National Youth Service Scheme to consider the unity of Nigeria as their cardinal principle. The governor, who was represented by his deputy, Idi Bade Gubana, congratulated the core members for the successful completion of their academic studies at home and abroad, which qualified them for mobilization for national service. He urged them to participate fully in all camp activities, be patriotic, law-abiding citizens, and take the orientation program seriously, adding that the program will provide them with the opportunities and necessary exposure required to readjust their lives and build self-confidence. He assured the core members posted to the state that the welfare and security will be given topmost priority. In her welcome address, the state coordinator Yobe State NYSC, Mrs. Hafsat Yerima, informed the gathering that at the close of the registration, a total of 1,115 core members were registered, stressing that they have been of good conduct. Borno State government has approved the release of over 500 million naira for repayment of registration fees for 19 medical students and 93 nursing students. The executive secretary of the Borno State Scholarship Board, Malam Bala Issa, made this known on Tuesday while announcing the development in Maiduguri. Issa said that the 19 indigent medical students are studying at Suez University of Egypt, while the 93 nursing students are in the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital Nursing School. The executive secretary said that the gesture was part of Governor Babagana Zulum administration's commitment to the state's 25-year development plan and a 10-year strategic transformation initiative. The governor had urged the students to be hard-working and to face their studies seriously to justify the government's effort towards sponsoring their education. Both conveying farmers from Ube district in Nasarawa, Egon, met with a tragic accident while crossing a river in Hunki village of Awe local government area. The farmers were returning from their rice farm on Monday night when the incident happened. The victims have been identified as Alkali Congo, Shadrach Dauda, Mashak Dauda, and Akolo Moses. It was gathered that the bodies of the deceased have been transported back to the village for proper identification by their families. DSP Rahman Nassel, Police Public Relations Officer, PPRO, confirmed the incident to newsmen on Tuesday. Nassel stated that 4 corpses had been retrieved by the local divers while the driver of the boat was still missing. Unknown gunmen have attacked Gandu, a settlement near the Federal University of Lafayette, killing 1 person and abducting an unspecified number of villagers to an unknown destination. It was gathered that the incident happened late Monday night. It was gathered that Gandu houses both staff and students of Fou Lafayette because of its proximity to the permanent site of the university. As a result, there is a substantial presence of students and university staff in the area. The victims of the attack are yet to be identified as of the time of filing this report. In response to the attack, security forces have been deployed to the area to ensure the safety and protection of residents' lives and properties. Troops of Operation Safe Haven maintaining peace in Plateau and parts of Bauchi and Kaduna states have killed 4 suspected bandits and arrested 17 others over various crimes within its areas of responsibility. Captain James Oya, the media officer of the operation, disclosed this in a statement on Tuesday in Jos. Oya said the arrested suspects were apprehended over kidnapping, murder, violent attacks on communities, and illicit drug peddling, among others. He explained that the suspects were arrested during a special operation conducted by its troops between October 29th and November 5th. Oya said its commander, Major General Abdusalam Abubakar, thanked the residents of Plateau, Bauchi, and Kaduna states for supporting the military and other security agencies in their bid to promote security within its areas of operation. Katsina State Police Command has confirmed 5 persons dead while 2 others were injured during an attack by bandits in Sayaya village of Matazu local government area of the state. This was contained in a statement issued by the command's Public Relations Officer ASP Abubakar Aliyu and made available to newsmen on Tuesday in Katsina. The PPRO added that 5 other people were kidnapped by the assailants during the incident. It revealed that the injured persons were rushed to the hospital for medical attention. Aliyu said the Commissioner of Police, Aliyu Abubakar Musa, sympathized with the families of the victims. The PPRO added that the CP urged the public with information that could aid the investigation to come forward and assist. He added that efforts were being intensified to ensure the rescue of the kidnapped victims unhurt and the arrest of the perpetrators of the dastardly act. As received the Irish Ambassador Peter Ryan, speaking on the termed visit, Wike said Nigeria indeed enjoyed a bilateral relationship and the FCT will leverage this to promote job creation and improve education, agriculture, amongst others. He emphasized the need to develop information and communication technology in the nation's capital, seeking the partnership of Irish investors to improve the sector. Highlighting the unemployment rate, Wike said the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu is making efforts to tackle it, adding that there should be an evaluation of the achievements both countries have attained over the years to further plan ahead. On his part, the Irish diplomat said the meeting is to foster bilateral ties as well as collaborations that will strengthen the international partnership between both countries. He spoke on confidence he has in Nigeria and the mutual relationship both countries have shared over the years, adding that Ireland has a large population of Nigerians that are tremendously impacting the country in different areas, such as politics, arts, and business, amongst others. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We will be back after this break. Cable News and Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. National November 11 governorship elections. The Independent National Electoral Commission will be conducting off-season elections in 3 states, Bayelsa, Kogi, and Imo, on Saturday, November 11. The one in NBC said in a statement followed some trends noticed where ethics and ethos have been thrown to the winds by politicians using broadcast media platforms. This, the Commission said, is against the provisions of the Nigeria Broadcasting Code in Section 5, that in using materials for news and current affairs programs, the broadcaster shall avoid hate speech, inflammatory, derogatory, and divisive remarks or allusions. The Commission therefore urged all broadcasters to desist from using or allowing their platforms and facilities of law and order for the November 11 governorship elections in Kogi, Imo, and Bayelsa State. Ikechukwu Ani, head press and public relations, in a statement said the staff monitors are to be deployed to all the senatorial districts in the 3 states and have been mandated to monitor strictly the conduct of policemen on election duties in the 3 states. The statement added that the Commission will hold the police officers accountable for their actions and inactions throughout the period of the election and will not hesitate to discipline appropriately any officer found wanting in the discharge of his or her election duties. Arasa said the provision of essential security architecture by the Inspector General of Police should serve as enough motivation for the police to ensure a free and fair elections. The PSC chairman said officers on election duty must be above reproach, adding that they must conduct themselves in line with established laws and guidelines. He noted that the success or failure of the election largely depends on the actions and inactions of the officers and warned that misconduct would attract commensurate consequences. Independent National Electoral Commission has published detailed information on 40 polling units where elections will not hold on Saturday. INEC National Commissioner and Chairman Information and Voter Education Committee Sam Olumekun, in a statement issued Tuesday, explained that 2 polling units in Bayelsa and 38 in Imo were without registered voters. The National Commissioner added that 16 political parties are sponsoring candidates for the election in Bayelsa State, while 18 parties are sponsoring candidates in both Imo and Kogi State. Olumekun noted that elections will be held in 10,470 polling units, excluding the 40 polling units without registered voters. He explained that each political party is expected to nominate polling agents for all the polling units, as well as 649 ward, 56 local government area and 3 state collation centers. The National Commissioner said some political parties have no polling unit or collation agents in some states. IP to be the Labour Party presidential candidate, that the Supreme Court judgment on the 2023 presidential election was doctored in favor of President Bola Tinubu. The APC National Publicity Secretary Felix Morka, in a statement in Abuja, said court cases are not won on public opinion but on evidence and the law. Morka added that someone who has previously benefited from the rulings of the Supreme Court on electoral matters of his acerbic attack on the judiciary only shows his arrogance and vainness. He added that although the APC welcomed Obi's decision to engage in opposition politics going forward, he should do so maturely and constructively. House of Representatives Committee on Army has pledged its commitment to ensure the Nigerian Army is placed proper mechanism to tackle the challenges of insecurity facing the country. Chairman of the committee, Honorable Abdullahi Mahmoud, said this at the inaugural interactive session of the committee in Abu preparation for the objective to be achieved. He said the committee has developed a 4-year work plan that will be judiciously followed within specific periods in order to achieve its mandate, and joined members to give maximum cooperation to achieve the objective. Here is a report.
The committee has developed a work plan that will judiciously follow within the specific periods in order to achieve its mandate. So, honorable members, while I solicit your understanding and cooperation in the tasks ahead, please, let's take this responsibility with all seriousness and understand that it is our duty to put the Nigerian Army on a proper pedestal to be able to end the several challenges that we've been having in terms of insecurity in the country. We have a responsibility to Nigerians, and we have to be seen to be doing it. And I enjoy on all of you to give maximum cooperation so that we'll be able to succeed.
The Committee on Police Affairs, on their part, has pledged to ensure the provision of adequate funding, useful legislation, carrying out performance audits, and other alleged oversight of functions geared towards efficient service delivery and repositioning the nation's internal security architecture. The Chairman, Honorable Maki Yale.
Towards efficient service delivery and responding the national internal security.
House Committee on Financial Crimes vowed to stamp out terrorism financing, money laundering, as well as bring to justice enablers of financial crimes and criminalities in the country. Chairman of the committee, Honorable Ginger Obinna, while assuring that the 10th House of Representatives would ensure that corruption is not business as usual, said his committee would roll out strategies and policies that are necessary to safeguard the nation's financial system and uphold the rule of law. Here is a report.
As we move forward in our mission, I have full confidence that our combined efforts will continue to make a profound impact on our society. Today, we will ensure that those who engage in financial crimes and criminalities are held accountable and brought to justice. The committee, in preparation for commencement of activities, will operate on the following jurisdiction. There shall be a committee of financial crime consisting of not more than 40 members constituted at the commencement of the life of the House. The committee's jurisdiction shall cover oversight of Economic Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, /NFIU.
Governments and agencies of government, cautioning them against non-compliance with Senate resolutions and laws. During a national workshop on legislative compliance in Abuja on Tuesday, Ababio, represented by Deputy Senate President Barao Jibrin, emphasized the Senate's commitment to upholding the rule of law. He also emphasized the importance of MDAs adhering to Senate resolutions. The workshop, organized in collaboration with Green Mount Consulting Limited, discussed the imperatives of legislative compliance and deepening democracy and ensuring good governance. Ababio stated that non-compliance with Senate resolutions was unacceptable as it undermined the foundation of the country's democracy. Senate leader Obeyemi Bamidele echoed the significance of legislative compliance, highlighting its role in maintaining the rule of law within a democracy. Senate has urged the federal government to work with the United Nations to ensure an immediate ceasefire in the ongoing Israel-Hamas war. The Red Chamber also urged the federal government to press for a two-state solution to end the conflict, in which thousands, including women, children, and aid workers, had been killed. These resolutions of the sentence and the safety for lives and properties. Senate has charged its Committee on Establishment and Public Service Matters, Committee on Employment, Labor and Productivity, and the Committee on Federal Character to carry out a holistic investigation on the illegal employment of the Federal Civil Service Commission officers. The Senate resolved today's resolution after a motion on the urgent need to ensure federal character principle, curb lopsidedness and emerging infractions in the recruitment and deployment of officers.
Unlawful hiring and recruitment into the service have surfaced.
That the federal government has discovered about 1,618 civil servants with fake employment letters. Further disturbed that whereas the introduction of IPPIS in terms of human resource and payroll management, human factor in its application seem to be jeopardizing this noble objective of government. Regrets also that employees of government are capitalizing on insider abuse to undermine the efficiency of the IPPIS and to perpetrate unwholesome activities. resulting in cases of salary pardons, ghost names in the government payrolls, among others. The Senate therefore resolves to mandate the Committee on Establishment and Public Service Matters to, as a matter of urgency, carry out a holistic investigation on this matter and
on how these actions have affected those who do not have connections.
Continue to employ people on their own without reverting to the purpose for which the Service Commission was established, which is to bring equality, fairness to the process. And so you have many states that are underrepresented in different MDAs because they don't know one or two persons in high positions that will hire them. And so we must take this motion very seriously to bring sanity to the process so that at least our citizens can feel a sense of belonging to the country Nigeria.
The Senate therefore resolved that the committees move immediately for the investigations of illegal employment in the Federal Civil Service Commission.
Those who are in support of the prayer as amended, that the three committees of the Nigerian Senate should jointly invest
government activities from the National Assembly Abuja.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will on Wednesday launch a birth, death, and marriage registration portal. The registration system includes all civil registrations such as birth registration, stillbirth registration, birth attestation, adoption, marriage notification, divorce notification, migration, and death. Chairman of the National Population Commission, NPC, Nasser Kwara, made this known at a pre-launch briefing on Monday. The chairman stated that the commission, in collaboration with the United Nations Children's Fund, developed the ECRV's Operational Readiness Assessment report, which showed the potential of digital technologies in providing transformative outcomes in CRVs and integrating data from multiple systems to securely store data at scale in a cost-effective way in Nigeria. The NPC chairman noted that the system provides a digital certificate in all cases, an accessible verification platform to registered organizations, and a central management system dashboard that depicts and analyzes collated civil registration into vital statistics for proper decision making. A jury in Galele said, with the appointment of Mukhtar, the president seeks to unlock billions of dollars of new investment into the nation's healthcare delivery system. Mukhtar will now head the initiative domiciled under the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare. Mukhtar is expected to restructure the ecosystem of health product manufacturing, health logistics services, health technology services, health retail services, e-commerce, health provider facilitation, and health payer reform, third-party administrators and issuers. The statement added that Dr. Mukhtar comes to the task as the immediate past director of industry and trade development at the African Development Bank. Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project has threatened to sue President Bola Tinubu and the Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodinma, over an attack on the National President of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Joe Ajero. Ajero was last week arrested by the police ahead of the statewide protest in Imo State. However, the police denied arresting Ajero, stating that he was merely taken into protective custody to prevent mob attack. Uzodinma, however, accused the Labour leader of meddling in the political affairs of the state. Organized labor, comprising of the leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress, on Tuesday declared a total nationwide strike effective Tuesday, November 14th, 2023. The leadership of the two unions reached the resolution after an extraordinary National Executive Council meeting on Tuesday in Abuja. The unions also ordered a shutdown of electricity and fuel supplies in Imo State. Due to the brutalization of the Ajero, the states are suspended. Now, business news. Leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress have declared a total nationwide strike effective next Tuesday, November 14th, 2023. The leadership of the two unions reached the resolution after an extraordinary National Executive Council meeting on Tuesday in Abuja. The two major labor unions said nationwide mobilization of members and allies have begun immediately. The action of the organized labor followed the brutalization of NLC National President Joe Ajaero last week in Imo State. There had been widespread outrage by the organized labor accusing the Commissioner of Police in Imo State, Mohammed Bade, of complicity in the recent attacks on Ajaero though the governor had since said he had no hand in the attack on the labor leader. Nigeria's state oil firm NNPC Limited says it has launched a new grade of crude called Nembe. As Africa's largest oil producer aims to ramp up crude production, the country has long dealt with output declines due to crude theft, attacks on pipelines in the Niger Delta, and a lack of investment causing a dwindling of government revenue and large fiscal deficits. But output has picked up in recent months. Nembe production was formally added to the Bonny Light Stream more than 3 years ago, until instances of sabotage on the Nembe Creek trunk line hamstrung output, and NNPC source told newsmen on the sidelines of the August European Crude Conference in distilled rich grade such as Focados, Bongo, and Bonga and Egina Meriamus Idris, Executive Director of Crude and Condensate at NNPC Trading. Production of Nembe is currently around 50,000 barrels per day, but NNPC is aiming for a rise to 80,000 by the first quarter of next year and 150,000 barrels per day by the start of 2025, the source added. Now to international tidbits. Egyptian former presidential hopeful Ahmed al-Tantawi will face trial for circulating unauthorized endorsement forms for Egypt's upcoming elections. Tantawi, who withdrew his bid for the presidency last month after failing to gather enough endorsements to run, will face criminal court on charges of circulating election-related papers without official authorization, leading to human rights defender Hussam Bagat wrote on X, formerly Twitter. A former member of his campaign confirmed the charges, saying the lawyers were surprised to see his and the campaign manager's name among the defendants in the case. The former parliamentarian abandoned his bid for the presidency last month after alleging for months that the Egyptian authorities had harassed him and his campaign. He was ultimately able to collect only 14,000 endorsements out of the 25,000 required to run, but maintained that he could win against incumbent President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in free elections. The Egyptian Commission for Rights and Freedoms on Tuesday published a list of the defendants who will face trial over same charges, now scheduled for November 28. The list includes Tantawi, his campaign manager Mohammed Abao Deya, and 21 Joe Galamba, and issued an arrest warrant for Costa's chief of staff. The investigation covers alleged misuse of funds, active and passive corruption by political figures, and influence peddling, according to a statement from public prosecutors. A separate probe is looking into Costa, who is alleged to have intervened personally to speed up the contracts, the statement said. The president of the executive board of the Portuguese Agency for the Protection of the Environment was also indicated. Portugal has the largest lithium reserves in Europe and is continent's leading producer, but its current output goes entirely to the ceramic and glass making industries. Costa, from Portugal's Socialist Party, has been prime minister since late 2015 and was re-elected in January 2022. His popularity has recently declined after a series of scandals linked to the national airline TAP. Bangladesh raised the minimum monthly pay for the country's 4 million garment workers by 56% on Tuesday, a decision immediately rejected by unions seeking a near tripling of the figure. The South Asian country's 3,500 garment factories account for around 85% of its $55 billion in annual reports, supplying many of the world's top fashion names, including Levi's, Zara, and H&M. But conditions are dire for many of the sector's 4 million workers, the vast majority of whom are women, whose monthly pay starts at 3,300 taka, that is $75. Workers have gone on strike to demand a near tripling of their wages, with violent scenes in recent days, while employers offer 25%. The minimum wage is fixed. Nigerian singer and songwriter Tobechukwu Oko, popularly known as Penruzi, has debunked the viral report that he wrote one of Burna Boy's hit songs. Recall that Penruzi had boasted on his social media handle that he had written over 252 songs for the Nigerian music industry. Some of his followers on social media had claimed that Burna Boy's hit song was written by Penruzi and further criticized Burna for allegedly using many songwriters, while his fans hailed him for his lyrical prowess, referring to them as lost children. In response, Penruzi emphatically debunked the speculations. Irish chef Alan Fisher is now the record holder for the longest cooking hours after the clocked in a time of 119 hours and 57 minutes. His feat is its cooking marathon individual after clocking in a time of 119 hours 57 minutes. That is more than 24 hours longer than the previous record held by Nigerian chef Hilda Bassi. Apart from the longest cooking marathon, Alan also broke the longest baking marathon individual. The Guinness World Records added that he had a time of 47 hours and 21 minutes, while the previous record holder was Wendy Sandner, USA, with a time of 31 hours and 16 minutes. Alan cooked and baked for 9 days and made 357 kg worth of soda bread and 590 kg worth of dishes, 3,360 portions consisting of 32 recipes during those times. His feat came almost 5 months after the Guinness World Record confirmed Hilda's adventurous cooking. The Nigerian broke the 87 hours and 45 minutes record held by India's Lata Tondon since 2019. Meanwhile, Chef Hilda Bassi has congratulated Irish chef Alan Fisher, who emerged as the latest Guinness World Record holder for the longest cooking marathon by an individual. The Guinness World Records on Tuesday disclosed that Fisher from Ireland cooked for 119 hours and 57 minutes at his restaurant in Japan. Reacting to Fisher's success, Bassi, who is the former record holder, congratulated Alan on her X account on Tuesday. Here now is ATN Sports News. Nigerian-born youngster Afolami Onanuga has signed his professional contract with Liverpool. Afolami linked up with Liverpool as an under-11 and has progressed through the ranks. The 17-year-old was spotted playing grassroots football in Manchester. The midfielder is currently a regular member of the under-18 squad. Afolami made his debut for the under-21s when he started against Blackpool at Blomfield last month. He is a talented player who links the game well and looks to have a positive impact in the attacking third. 2025 NBA All-Star Game will be held at the Golden State Warriors Chase Center, home in San Francisco. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver confirmed in a statement said the 74th edition of the mid-season showpiece will be held on February 16, 2025. The NBA All-Star on-court events will tip off on February 14th with a game between rookies and second-year NBA players. This season All-Star Game is being held in February at Indianapolis, the first time that the city has hosted the event since 1985. The 2024 All-Star Game is returning to the traditional Eastern Conference versus Western Conference format, raising the prospect of LeBron James and French prodigy Victor Wembanyama playing on the same side. Former Inter Miami manager Phil Neville was named as the new head coach of the Portland Timbers as the team bid to return to Major League Soccer's elite. Former Manchester United and England defender Neville replaces Gio Tavares, who was sacked by the club in August after 6 seasons. Neville's 46 was axed by Miami in June with the club languishing at the foot of the Eastern Conference shortly before the arrival of Lionel Messi. Timbers general manager Ned Grabavoy said Neville was the right person to lead this team forward. Neville moved into coaching after a 19-year playing career spent mostly with Manchester United and Everton. He led England's women to the World Cup semi-finals in 2019, where they lost to eventual champions, the United States. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. EFCC arraigns fake shorty in Port Harcourt. Delta CJ frees robbery suspect from prison. NLC-TUC declare nationwide strike November 14th. NNPCL launches new crude oil Nembe